Well, Chelsea make the short trip to Selhurst Park as it is 6th versus 15th with 6 points separating Chelsea, who travel to Crystal Palace here in a massive clash in a London derby. Crystal Palace with news that their skipper recently leaving for Manchester City, which means that there's a shuffle in the leadership pack with Dean Henderson now the new skipper for Crystal Palace. Chelsea having a few changes as well as Liam Rossinier moves his pieces around, looking for a bit of consistency. As Chelsea have started well under Liam Rossinier, but the performance have been so-so. There's an opportunity to really lay down a marker here as we travel away to Crystal Palace on the back of some really poor run. December was a nightmare. Just 1 win in 5 for Chelsea in the Premier League. That was the 2-0 victory at home against Brentford, where Chelsea got very fortunate, and we're off and running for the start of kickoff. To Crystal Palace on the back of some... Well, Rob Sanchez, who's on the bench against Pafos in the Champions League clash that we had, but he had to come on in the second half because of Philip Jorgensen's injury. Tosin Adarabioyo also on the sidelines with a hamstring injury for him, which means Benoit Badiashile will partner Trevor Chalobah in the heart of defence for Chelsea. Chalobah, of course, was on that 6-month loan at Crystal Palace. Neto works it very well for Mark Cucurella down the left-hand side. Decent ball in, asking a lot out of Joao Pedro, but the ball finds kindly to the right-hand side. Enzo Fernandez on the overlap, puts the ball across the face of goal. It might have taken a deflection. Enzo Fernandez as the number 10 today with no Cole Palmer, not even in the starting 11, not on the bench either as he's nursing a thigh problem. He was the one who scored here last season, which was cancelled out by Jean-Philippe Mateta's strike in the 81st minute. It's a corner for Chelsea. It's a bright start for the Blues. Well, Reece James, back at right back. He's not going to be making those marauding run forward. That'll be tasked with Mark Cucurella down the left-hand side. We might see Reece inverting from right back as the corner whipped in towards the near post. It's gone out. It's a foul on the Crystal Palace player. Chelsea set pieces in the last couple of weeks have been really poor, I would say. Reece James, who's been on most of the corners and set pieces, keeps aiming for that front post. Don't think that we've gotten any sort of success from it. But Chelsea against Pafos, where the line was deep and Chelsea were really struggling to break them down, needed a corner to break them open. 15 corners at Stamford Bridge against Pafos, with Moises Caicedo scoring a header as he improves his goal tally. His second Champions League goal alongside 3 in the Premier League. His best return for Chelsea since making that £115 million move 2.5 seasons ago from Brighton. Caicedo and Andre Santos in the midfield pivot for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez as the number 10. Our wings with Neto on the left and Estevao on the right with Joao Pedro. Our top scorer with 7 Premier League goals, leading the line once again. Chelsea are a much better team when Joao Pedro starts for us as Chalobah curiously plays the pass. It was Badiashile rather, finding himself on the right-hand side with that left-footed ball in. Here's the newly appointed skipper, Dean Henderson. The back three of Maxence Lacroix, Chris Richards and JD Canvo. The French 19-year-old replacing Mark Guéhi in that left-sided centre-back role. Adam Wharton, Jefferson Lerma as the 2 midfield players. Ismail Assar. And of course the newly purchased Brendan Johnson from Tottenham Hotspur, providing the width for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Of course the wing-backs, Tyreek Mitchell and Daniel Munoz. Adam Wharton goes for the switch out. But Crystal Palace and Strasbourg met each other in the UEFA Conference League. I believe Strasbourg won that game. I can't remember the scoreline though. It was one of those performances where Liam Rossinier really did impress on the European stage. Now he's taken charge of an FA Cup tie, a Champions League game, his first Premier League game at home, a 2-0 victory against Brentford. Chelsea really did have to ride our luck in that match. Brentford came so close on multiple occasions. Rob Sanchez really helped us out. And it was 1-0 early in the second half, when Kevin Schade was 1v1 against the Spaniards. Sanchez came up with a brilliant save. And Sanchez and Chelsea having 9 clean sheets in the Premier League. Manchester City overtaking us with that 2-0 victory yesterday against bottom side Wolves. Antoine Semenyo scoring the second, making an immediate impact since joining from Bournemouth. The winter window has been seeing some movements. Crystal Palace, of course, dipping into their funds, getting Brennan Johnson from Tottenham Hotspur. Johnson's a better player on the right-hand side, but he is operating on the left. Estevao, who's looked bright every time he plays for Chelsea, hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities to start, as both Enzo Maresca and Liam Rossignol trying to just build his fitness as he's into his first league season in the Premier League, and what an impact he's had. Some big goals already into his early career. Scored that 96th minute winner against Liverpool before the international break in that 2-1 victory that Chelsea had over Liverpool at the Bridge. And of course that absolute thunderbolt against Barcelona on his weaker right foot. I use the word weaker, which it really isn't. This dude is ambipedal. He is Chelsea's best winger in terms of flair and excitement. Chelsea win the ball high up the pitch here. Good defending there from Maxence Lacroix. There's surely a handball on Mateta, but referee waves play on. Daniel Munoz down the right-hand side, chases it down, looks for the cross into the box. It's Mateta at the edge of the box. Moises Caicedo comes out of absolutely nowhere and makes the challenge. 5 minutes on the clock here. Very even start. Chelsea will have that security in midfield with Andre Santos possibly being the number 6 and allowing Moises Caicedo to be the 8. Caicedo with 3 Premier League goals. Finally serving all his suspensions in the Carabao Cup, in the Premier League. Nothing in the Champions League. We need Moises Caicedo to build his fitness back, his rhythm back. Started off the campaign in just sensational fashion. Then the drop-off coincided with Moy not being available for us after picking up that straight red card against Arsenal 30 minutes into the match. Here's Maxence Lacroix. All into the channel, well defended by Benoit Badiashile. Big game here for Badiashile. Again, I'm a big fan of Badiashile in terms of his attributes, but he is susceptible to losing his concentration in key moments. Can be caught napping at the far stick as well, so this is a big game for Badiashile. Josh Achimpong, of course, on the bench for us. Trevor Chalobah has been the centre half that has been preferred. Started pretty much every game under Liam Rossignol. Wesley Fofana, another centre-back option for us. He's on the bench alongside Josh Achimpong. Chelsea managing the minutes of Wesley Fofana, who's been a lot more available for us, but Chelsea being very cautious. A couple of midfielders still missing for Chelsea with Romeo Lavia and Dario Isugo. Isugo, unfortunately, came back after that thigh surgery that he had, but then apparently slipped in training, which means that he might be out for another month. Moises Caicedo, Andre Santos, and of course Enzo Fernandez. Oh, Chelsea lose the ball here, and it's Jean-Philippe Mateta is through on goal. Mateta, what a save by Sanchez. Benoit Badiashile, very careless there. Head down immediately, and Sanchez bails us out. This is very poor from Badiashile. He is caught napping. Mateta's through on goal. Sanchez, what a save. This guy has been bailing us out week in, week out, man. Mateta should score. Sanchez, brilliant. Monish, that's absolutely right, man. What is Badiashile doing there? We could have very easily been 1-0 down. And it's not that he was under pressure either. He just takes that heavy touch. It almost feels, when you look at Badiashile's body language and facial expressions, it does tell a lot of the story, man. This has not been a good start. This is where Trevor Chalobah needs to grab him and get him back in the full focus here. Badiashile doing the right thing, taking the responsibility of marking Mateta. Jean-Philippe Mateta, the clear aerial threat for Crystal Palace as they swing in their first corner. It's a pretty poor corner. I think Reece James and now Richards' corners have been pretty poor. It should be Chelsea ball. Critical that Chelsea continue the good work here. Benoit Badiashile will be breathing a huge sigh of relief as possibly looking at a foul in the box. I see absolutely nothing. Play on. Jefferson Lerma just taking a tumble. Again, Mark Cucurella likes to get touch tight. So does Moises Caicedo. But neither challenge worthy of a pen. Well, the action is really busy on the Saturday here. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. I'll be keeping an eye on the scoreline in that game. Here's Adam Wharton. Clever pass. Brilliant challenge there by Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea on the move here. Enzo Fernandez shifts it onto the right-hand side. Here's Reece James striding forward. Clever pass into the channel for Joao Pedro. Keeps his balance. Maxence Lacroix matches him step by step as JD Canvo clears. Into the 10th minute here. Joao Pedro has been running the channel selflessly in the early stages. Chelsea's centre-forward play goes from here to here when we've got Joao Pedro and he's replaced by Liam Delap. Liam Delap with the one Premier League goal against Fulham that Chelsea did lose. Harry Wilson, who's having a sensational season, man. I mean, Harry Wilson is no joke pushing for Player of the Year. I mean, Fulham will not get the plaudits and probably go to someone who's won the league, but Harry Wilson this season, the kind of goals that dude is scoring, he's a special player, man. It didn't work out for him in Liverpool, but he seems to have found his home under Marco Silva. And Fulham has Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. But I'd much rather prefer Pedro Neto on the left-hand side than the right, because when you're a right winger and you're cutting in on your left, you need such high IQ play to try and unlock, especially a deep defense. Pedro Neto does not have any of that. He's got great raw attributes in terms of running down and making those quick decisions. He's not utterly useless. He's got 5 Premier League goals? And he's got maybe 5 or 6 Premier League assists as well, but he kills a lot of our attacks. So I much rather prefer him on the left. And Estevao, of course, on the right-hand side. Chelsea with the second corner. Reece's first was poor. This time it's slightly better, and it's going to be take 2. Again, I do not understand Reece James constantly wanting to hit the front post with his corners. He doesn't mix things up either. He keeps aiming for that near post. 11 minutes on the clock. 0-0 the scoreline here at Selhurst Park. And I thank you all for tuning in. It's been a ritual now, tuning in for every Chelsea game. Never want to miss a Chelsea game, especially on stream, and enjoying the game with you guys as Reece continues to attack the near post. Come on, Reece, just mix things up. Put it towards the far stick. Give the guys something to attack. Chelsea with corners in quick succession. Reece delivers. Front post again. Come on, Reece. Cleared away. Chelsea looking to keep the pressure. Moises Caicedo finds Enzo Fernandez. Offside flag raised. I'm not sure who was offside. Play continues though. I'm not sure why the linesman had that. That's a ball by Cucurella. Flicked on by Badiashile. Decent touch by Estevao. He's been closed down. Chelsea putting the pressure. Foul not given. Very good pressure applied here by the Blues. In wide today with Marc Cucurella on the overlap. Clip ball into the box. Cleared away by JD Canvo. It's Moises Caicedo. Had a couple of fizzing drives against Parforce midweek. Looking to continue his goal scoring touch here. Reece James in the central position to Benoit Badiashile. Much better there from Benoit. Reece James finds Estevao Willian up against Tyrick Mitchell. Estevao committing a few bodies forward. Again, every time Estevao moves in field, he takes a player along with him as the cross comes into the box. Cucurella attacking the box. Not a foul, but Pedro Neto recovers. Daniel Munoz dropped to the ground. Pedro Neto does brilliantly. Cucurella looks for the ball into the box. Decent ball in. Enzo Fernandez. It's over the crossbar. Enzo wants a handball. He might not get it, but it's the second time that we found Enzo Fernandez in the box. Brilliant work this from Chelsea. Cucurella's clearly onside. The ball fizzed into the box. Enzo Fernandez not having the time to take a touch. Decent strike from the Argentine. Let's have a look whether or not he does have a case. Don't think he does. Nope. Hopeful there from Enzo. Decent strike. I mean, could he get that on target? Man of his quality and the goals that he's been scoring this season. 2025 was Enzo Fernandez's year for Chelsea in terms of goals and assists. He led that metric here. Palace have been pretty quiet here in this early stage. They've had a nightmare time in the last couple of months. The last Premier League win was, 7th of December? Was that against Fulham away? Oliver Glasner has seen a couple of his key pieces being ripped out of his FA Cup winning side rather, with First, Eberiche Eze moving to Arsenal. Fortunately for Eze, he's not been getting much game time under Mikel Arteta. Might be preserving him for the run-in. And of course, in the winter window, losing Mark Guéhi to Manchester City for 20 million quid. Guéhi, of course, started his first game for his new club in that 2-0 victory against Wolves yesterday. Clean sheet for the England centre-half to begin his career at Manchester City. Of course, former Cobham boy. Well, he is a Cobham boy, but former Chelsea player Mark Guéhi making the move from Crystal Palace to Manchester City. Good luck to him, man. Of course, we had Nathan Ake, who had followed a similar path. Chelsea Academy. That's a very good pass there by Trevor Chalobah. Daniel Munoz is going to have his work cut out today against Pedro Neto. Direct play Pedro Neto down the left-hand side is a completely different proposition. Expect him to make some real inroads down the left-hand side. Daniel Munoz likes to bomb on forward. But with Pedro Neto, he'll have to keep one eye on the Portuguese. Oliver Glasner, pretty vocal in some of his press conferences, some post-match as well, when the emotions are running high. I think that's the worst time, especially for a manager facing a few difficult moments, especially after a loss when they ask unnecessary questions. Adam Wharton's pass, what a brilliant bit of play there from Pedro. Brilliantly done. I mean, his hold-up play is a very high level. Very impressive. He mixes things up. He never just stands in one position. Loves to drop deep. He helps out defensively so much. £50 million, top scorer for Chelsea. Amongst the assists as well. He's been a success signing. There's Esteval Willian now on the right-hand side. Drifts in. Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. A bit of space now. Cross comes into the box. Cleared away. Cucurella stretches. Chelsea asks for a hand. Well, for all of Chelsea's good work in the first half, the best chance in the match fell to Jean-Philippe Mateta after Benoit Badiashile showed very poor composure for us. Has he picked up a yellow card here? I really hope not. Badiashile, please don't pick up silly yellows. Need him to be at his most concentrated today. Trevor Chalobah looked very good in this first half so far. He has made some good interceptions. His passing between the lines has been particularly impressive. Here's Philippe Mateta. Munoz, first time whip ball in. Brilliant ball. Outstanding defending. That time it's Andres Santos. Santos in that perfect position as the number 6 helping out. This is a brilliant ball in by Daniel Munoz, and Andres Santos does very well. Second corner for Palace. I remember Andres Santos, was it against Nottingham Forest or was it against Burnley away? One of these two games where he was the man of the match. He was head and shoulders our best player. In that number 6 role, the interceptions and the tackles, the blocks that he made, had an amazing game for us. Of course, worked under Liam Rossignol when he was Liga Young Player of the Year at Strasbourg last season. Corner comes in towards the far stake. Decent header. Ismail Assar. There's Jefferson Lerma. I was wondering who's number 11 for them. Well, Yeremy Pino's on the bench for Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner was complaining about the lack of options he had on the bench. I think Lerma doesn't have a case here. Look who it is helping out defensively. João Pedro. That guy is everywhere for us. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating because you just want him to be in that number 9 position, but really, he's such a selfless player, man. I have only good words to say about João Pedro, but as I say that, he gets robbed off the ball, but once again gets into the tackle. Brilliant! That is João Pedro in a nutshell. Here's Jefferson Lerma. JD Canvo finds Maxence Lacroix. Frenchman, now the linchpin in the heart of the Crystal Palace defense. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's also going to be poised to make a big move from Crystal Palace. It might make Oliver Glasner's head explode, but unfortunately, that's the food chain. That's the hierarchy in the Premier League. Teams like Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Fulham, unfortunately, could lose players to the quote-unquote biggest clubs, as Cucurella does well. Neto on the left-hand side has looked busy. He's up against Adam Wharton. He should take him on. Wharton wins that challenge brilliantly, but Neto has to do better, man. Wharton is not the quickest. Neto looking to isolate, but Wharton does very well. Ooh, Caicedo's late on Adam Wharton, but I don't think he really caught him. Might be just the toe. Oh, Caicedo. Well, 0-0 at Selhurst Park. Not the worst, but Liam Rosenior can be a bit encouraged with this first 20 minutes. Here's Caicedo, who did pick up the yellow card. Shifts it onto the right-hand side. Reece James. In Reece in the right-back role, won't be as dynamic as he was. Remember, Reece in midfield was an absolute game-changer for us. Against Manchester City, against Arsenal, against Rodri, against Declan Rice. Man of the match, Reece James. Started in midfield. João Pedro, brilliant from him again. Cucurella, that's a terrible pass. It was the right idea, though. Wanted to feed that to Estevao Willian really early. Good work there by Reece, forcing Crystal Palace back. Palace winless in the last 5. Draws and losses not helping the cause. They find themselves in 15, just 6 points behind 6th place Chelsea, who after Liverpool's loss to Bournemouth yesterday at the Vitality Stadium, win today takes us into 4th position, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. And of course, Manchester United travel to London to face table toppers Arsenal. I will be doing the stream for that. So, if you are free, do join in the stream. That'll be a very interesting game. It's one of those games where, I shouldn't be saying this, but a result for Arsenal is favourable for Chelsea because it's Manchester United who are competing with us in terms of league position. And Manchester United with Michael Carrick now 1 game a week. No European distractions, no cup competitions, out of everything by January, can really attack the league. Of course, they got a couple of players back from AFCON. Mbuemo started. He's back. Mazraoui. And of course, Amad Diallo. Speaking of AFCON, got a AFCON winner on the pitch. Ismail Assar for Senegal. But who got a hero's welcome when he came back to his club here. Oliver Glasner will feel that Chelsea have had the better of the early stages. But 0-0, pretty much a favourable scoreline for him. Here's Adam Wharton, who will be hoping to get on the plane to be in part of the Thomas Tuchel setup for the World Cup. I think in the pecking order, Declan Rice and, of course, Elliot Anderson preferred. There's a lot of competition for the England spots. Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Eberiche Eze. But Eze's chances might be hurt because of the lack of game time he has had since leaving Crystal Palace. That combination of Eze and Olise was so special, man. Always had a soft spot for Crystal Palace since they came into the league. They've been my second team. I keep a close eye on them. I was so happy when they won the FA Cup and got further silverware, as Wharton goes for the switch, asking a lot out of Tyrick Mitchell. It's a goal kick for Chelsea. Now playing Conference League football. They should have been playing Europa League football. I mean, they really got screwed by UEFA. Steve Parish have been absolutely fuming as the FA Cup winners are playing Conference League football instead of Europa League. But they do have a chance to win the Conference League, like Chelsea did last season. That 4-1 victory against Real Betis. Manuel Pellegrini's side completely dominated in the second half after they took the lead. Enzo Fernandez's equalizer. And from there on, rest is history as Pedro Neto down the left-hand side. Lacroix is so quick, man. He's one of the fastest centre-backs. Covers the turf like the flash. Neto, it's been slightly better down the left-hand side. I don't want to see Pedro Neto on the right. But I've been very impressed with Neto's, you can say, passion It's the least you expect. Effort, passion. You don't want to be a passion merchant and not have quality, especially in the wide areas. Enzo Fernandez just drifting out of the game. Hasn't really had the influence, had that effort. It was over the crossbar. That was our best chance in the first half so far for Palace. Jean-Philippe Mateta pouncing on that Benoit Badiashile error, which Rob Sanchez bailed us out. He's been bailing us out week in, week out, man. He's trying to compete for the Golden Glove, which of course is currently in the possession of David Raya. He's got 11 clean sheets this season. Well, funny that Raya and Rob Sanchez, two of the best 3 goalkeepers in the Premier League, and neither one of them will be starting for Spain in the World Cup. It's Unai Simon, who somehow has kept that place. There's Joan Garcia as well, who plays for Barcelona. So Arsenal, Chelsea and Barcelona goalkeepers being benched for Unai Simon just shows you that how much the Spanish setup really does value Unai Simon. Wait and see though, a lot can happen in the last 4 months of the season before the World Cup. You had the Club World Cup last season, now the World Cup this season. Chelsea players are going to be running on fumes next season, man. Another ball in the... Chelsea have just gone to sleep here in the last 5 or 10 minutes. We just allowed the game to drift. It's almost like we're trying to conserve our energy. We've been much better in the second half of games, but just letting this last 5 or 10 minutes drift here. Started the game well. In pressure applied on JD Canvo. Adam Wharton, his pass intercepted by Andre Santos. He's had an excellent game. His pass to Joao Pedro. Lovely turn by Joao Pedro. Feeds it to Estevan Willian. First touch just gets away from him. Good defending. Somehow gets the shot away. And it's cleared away by JD Canvo. Well, the Brazilian connection on full force there, as Benoit Badiashile does well, because Ismail Assar is very quick. Badiashile had to win that duel, because if Ismail Assar nicks that forward, he's off. And Ismail Assar has got so many goals against Liverpool, almost plays against them like he's got a point to prove. Always a player that really am wary about as an opposition. Played for Watford as well, and is one of those players I've been keeping an eye on, silently rooting for him. He's getting a bit of silverware too now, just showcasing that kind of vision I had, that he's got all the tools to be a great player, man, especially out wide, even in the pockets. Different role for him under Oliver Glasner, not a traditional touchline winger, more in the number 10s. Look, I haven't seen anything of Brennan Johnson. This is something that I've complained about. Oh, it might be 1-0. Oh my word, Ismail Assar, I've given you all the praise and you nearly crushed my spirit there. Great front post movement from the Senegalese. It's a flick on head. I think it's a Chelsea head that gets to it. Oh, it's Joao Pedro. Or is that Reece James? And Ismail Assar steals in towards the front post. Kukurea, thankfully, just tracking his run and making sure that it wasn't a clean effort. Rob Sanchez trying to make himself as big as possible. That is a few inches wide, but another warning shot fired at the Chelsea goal. Again, the 2 Crystal Palace chances have come from Chelsea touches. First from Badiashile, now from Joao Pedro. So again, Joao Pedro helps out defensively in the box. 10 on 10 for effort and, you know, getting your head to it, but nearly turned into an assist. Here's Dean Henderson, who's had very little to do with nearly 30 minutes on the clock. New Crystal Palace skipper, of course formerly of Manchester United colours. Sold him for what, 20 million? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager in his final season as Badiashile tries to play that first time pass. Again, need to see Enzo Fernandez linking up with Estevan Willian. Feed those passes. Estevan makes those runs really well past the shoulder of the defender. Need Enzo Fernandez to just grow into the game. He has to be a creative force here today with no Cole Palmer. Now nursing a thigh injury. I really hope it's not his groin injury once again that's flaring up. As selfish as this sounds, if Cole Palmer gets surgery for us and is fit and ready for next season, he misses the World Cup. I know it's going to be cruel on Cole. I mean, you don't want him to miss the big stages, but as a selfish Chelsea supporter, I would love it if he gets patched up and ready to go next season. Still scored 4 Premier League goals with the sparse minutes that he's gotten. Just shows you what an elite player he is. Oh, that's a rough challenge made. Caicedo's pass left it very short there for Andre Santos. Wharton. It's Brennan Johnson. I think that's his first touch that he's had, is a ball into the box. Decent header by Jean-Philippe Mateta, but it's far from being on target as Marc Cucurella pinches the ball. Over 30 minutes played at Selhurst Park. Chelsea need to get a grip here, need to start passing it along the turf. He's playing a lot of long balls. Again, we're trying to use the directness of João Pedro and Pedro Neto. I think a lot of short, crisp passes will solve a lot of our problems here in terms of trying to just pin Crystal Palace back. I think the defenders have had a comfortable half an hour. Wharton, lovely first touch, finds Mateta, looks for the audacious first time switch. Right idea, but Reece James comes across. Should win the duel, and he does. He fires that to Sanchez. Oh, Sanchez very confident and turns into a very good pass. Chelsea work it very well, but we lose the duel. Adam Wharton once again snapping in there ahead of Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez has to do better. He has to win that against Adam Wharton. Jean-Philippe Mateta and Adam Wharton do have a very good connection, man. Wharton always looks for his centre forward with those line breakers. He faces his body this way and then hammers the pass that way. So it's very clever. It splits the lines, and as the centre forward, he's almost ready every time to hold off the challenge and then link up. Here's Cucurella. He gives the ball away very loosely. Wharton, the metronomic presence for Crystal Palace. He's got Jefferson Lerma today as his centre midfield partner. Very calm here from Crystal Palace. Here's Wharton again. Caicedo trying to put pressure on him. Mateta, strong enough. Pedro Neto gets in there, crunching challenge. Caicedo, careful, please. Caicedo, you're on a yellow card. You cannot be making challenges like that. Please, please, please. It's a sore one. Caicedo has to withdraw from challenges now. That's his final warning. Chelsea's red cards this season have been farcical. We cannot afford one. We started the game against Fulham so well. Cucurella was absolutely criminal in terms of conceding a chance there. Oh, that's very poor from Caicedo. He's fortunate. Yeah, Monish, absolutely. We are losing focus, playing too close to Palace. Oh, Caicedo, that's his final warning. I think Liam Rossigne might have to take him off in the second half. As crazy as that sounds, we cannot go down to 10 men. Maybe we bring on an attacker in Jamie Gittins to get into the wings. Caicedo drops off to the bench. Oh, decent header. Can't go down to 10 men. I'd rather Chelsea play 45 minutes without Moy than go down to 10. Reece James is an option in midfield too. Oh, the ball is a loose one here as the chase is on. Estevan Willian is bearing down on goal. Here's Estevan Willian, couple of touches. Brilliant! Oh, Estevan Willian! So cool in front of goal. It's a devastating finish by the Brazilian. A quite magnificent goal. Such composure from the teenager. And Chelsea lead at Selhurst Park. Yes, Estevan. Go on, son. As he makes that celebration. What a goal, man, Monish. What a goal. It's a crazy pass. Estevan is onside because he's in his own half, but he's got so much to do here. His touches are so assured. It's right next to his feet. Oh, my word. This kid has got everything to go to the very top. So calm, he goes across Henderson. So impressive, man. Estevan Willian, superb. That's the kind of moment we've been thirsting for. Away goal, Estevan Willian. And this, as much as, Chelsea's model comes under scrutiny and criticism, I absolutely get it. I subscribe 100%. But when it hits, and someone like Estevan, where Chelsea spent, 30 million quid? It's an absolute steal in this market. I mean, consider other wing options. Paid 50 million for Pedro Neto, 50 million for Jamie Gittins, who I feel has got a lot of potential, who might come good, and 40 million for Alejandro Garnacho. Our best winger is a teenager, and he costs us somehow in that 30 million range. Thumbs up? Double thumbs up? I believe so. 10 minutes plus added on time remaining in this first half. Estevan Willian breaking through for us. Now, Liam Rossignol spoke glowingly about Estevan, like every manager who has worked under, who has coached Estevan rather. Starting to give him a lot more responsibility. And a ball into the channel here. João Pedro has made everything stick so far. Finds his fellow Brazilian, Estevan Willian. Confidence will be coursing through his veins. Again, Estevan in those central areas. Again, if you want to change that number 10, as I mentioned before, if Caicedo has to come off, there are a lot of options that Liam Rossignol can do. If he wants a number 10, he can shift Estevan in the central areas, drop Enzo Fernandez into the pivot, and bring on one of Garnacho or Gittins on the wing. So there are a lot of things he can do. And of course, Reece James can move into midfield. Maybe Josh Achumpong plays on the right-hand side. So if Chelsea want to be quote-unquote defensive, Achumpong for Caicedo can move things on as well for us. So I expect Liam Rossignol to be proactive here. Badiashile, please. Oh my goodness me. Badiashile, I'm rooting for you, my friend, but you cannot be making mistakes like that. So casual. It's one of his traits, he's very calm when he has the ball. A little too calm sometimes. He loses the ball in dangerous positions too, man. If he loses the ball somewhere in the channel, if he gives the ball away on the flanks, it's fine, we can get back into position, shuffle across. He loses it in the central areas where there's no cover behind. It's almost like Sanchez needs to almost anticipate it from that side, He's a very good sweeper keeper. He's a little crazy, but he's our crazy. Here's Cucurella. Lovely pass. Clever reverse here to João Pedro, and that's a wonderful challenge there by Maxence Lacroix. And follows the run of João Pedro, makes the challenge. 1-0 at Sellers Park. It's the same scoreline last season. Cole Palmer scored in the first half, and that goal was cancelled out by that man right there, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Clever pass to Daniel Munoz. Cucurella does very well. Reads the run, gets the header, wins the foul. Well, Mateta has also signalled that there is a possibility that he might leave in the winter window. Now, guy in the chat, Monish, talk to me about where would Mateta possibly go. And I propose Chelsea, because see, if you're going to be ruthless and making forward runs, forward strides, there are a couple of options for us in terms of strikers, because I have absolutely no problem as João Pedro as our starting number 9, right? But we need a good backup, solid. Yep. Will Jean-Philippe Mateta leave from starting from Crystal Palace to on the bench for Chelsea? I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, you cannot be a guaranteed starter at Chelsea, especially when you play for Crystal Palace. But he's got a lot of the great attributes. He's an experienced striker. He will be in the fray for France under Didier Deschamps. And the second option for us is the man on loan, a player that I'm really fond of, and there's been a lot of criticism for him. Loan on Bayern Munich, Nico Jackson, now with no Enzo Maresca, and Chelsea trying to offload him. If you can get him back in the fray next season, Chelsea's attacking options get improved immediately. It's not like we don't even have to buy. If we get Nico Jackson as our backup centre forward, tell me that's not an improvement on Liam Delap. Delap probably need to send him to Strasbourg if they're losing a mega next season too, so Chelsea want to keep him on the books. Ship him Strasbourg, forget 2-3 years. Still young. Chelsea have made that £30 million investment in him. Clever back heel there by Moises Caicedo. What a clever touch, but pass there by Joao Pedro. Not good enough. Here's Adam Wharton though, on the right hand side to Daniel Munoz. Up against Mark Cucurella. Wharton looking very comfortable in the middle of the park. Breezes forward here. Andre Santos needs to do slightly better. I think it was Estevao just trying to help out defensively with the jog. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Expecting a couple of minutes of added on time. It's been a free-flowing game. Both sides having opportunities. Chelsea getting the lead courtesy of Estevao Willian. Fantastic goal after that Crystal Palace mistake. But Estevao Willian needing so much to do. And he did so with real composure. Munoz fizzes that ball into the box. Good defending by Benoit Badiashile. Headed away by Pedro Neto. Palace keep the ball alive. I need to keep an eye on the Aston Villa Newcastle game. Oh, that's a clever pass. Wharton to Ismail Assar. Very good defending by Badiashile again. Two crucial interceptions. This has been a really engrossing first half here. Here's Moises Caicedo. Again, I'll be very curious to see what Liam Rossignol does with Moises Caicedo now in the second half. Performance-wise, the importance, Caicedo has to play 90 minutes for us. But after picking up a yellow card and getting a stern warning from the ref, that is the last opportunity for Moises Caicedo in terms of making a challenge, which is mistimed. He's a combative player. He goes into challenges, full commitment. Enzo Fernandez does very well under pressure to find Andre Santos. Santos switches it. Has to find Pedro Neto. Poor pass there by Andre, but good positioning from the youngster. Here's Adam Wharton. He's looking very dangerous. Continues to move the ball nicely here on the right-hand side. Ismail Assar. Very good defending again. This time it's Trevor Chalobah. Pedro Neto tries to shield the ball, but he gets bullied out. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Back three of Crystal Palace, very solid, man. They've got all the attributes in terms of being a strong outfit. Got pace, power, and they can play out the back. But yes, Mark Gay's absence will hurt. Losing a captain midway through the season, not ideal for Oliver Glasner. He wants to see a bit of ambition after delivering silverware for the club. Here's Adam Wharton, goes for the switch. What a pass that is. Brennan Johnson brings it down nicely. Again, Johnson has been on the periphery of things. Looking for the cross into the box. Here's Tyreek Mitchell. Reece James for company. James does well defensively. Estevao Willian trying to chase that down. Good header there by Enzo Fernandez. And that turns into an assist here. And Estevao Willian is through on goal again. But this time on the right-hand side. Estevao brilliant. Estevao Willian! It's just wide. It's not a save from Dean Henderson. Enzo Fernandez's defensive header turns into an assist nearly for Estevao. Similar position. Great couple of touches here. He's in the box and having scored the opening goal on his right foot this time. Tight angle. Oh, so close to making it 2-0 before half-time. Joao Pedro was steaming in at the back stick. But Estevao Willian had eyes for goal only. Here's Ismail Assar with a clever pass. Tyreek Mitchell down the left-hand side. Very good defending by Reece. Palace keep it alive. Excellent work there by Andre Santos. Superb reading there from Andre. You can really trust him as the number 6 in terms of the interception that he makes, the way that he blocks the passing lanes. Brennan Johnson did well. The Brazilians for us, the young guns, shining. Andre Santos defensively, and of course Estevao Willian, who opened the scoring, came very close to adding the second before half-time. Again, so much composure, man. I mean, he had to battle the defender this time as well. Shifts it onto the right-hand side. Any other day, he finds the back of the net. Final minute of normal time. It's been very interesting first half. Could have very easily been a goal down. Jean-Philippe Mateta, cameras will be on him after he had the opportunity 1v1. Rob Sanchez has been saving our bacon week in, week out. Such as his improvement and importance for Chelsea. Reece will take this throw in. goes crunching into the challenge. Badia Shield. Ferreira finds Pedro Neto. And more Badia Shield again. This could be a game for Alejandro Garnacho in the second half. As much as I'm a vocal critic of him against deep blocks and trying to be good with his dribbling, but when the game is stretched in the second half, and Palace will be coming out to try and score the equalizer, him on the break is a really good weapon. Again, for all his flaws, he's a very good finisher, especially at the back stick. Oh, Caicedo loses his footing. Sarr does very well. Foul given. Chelsea have the ball here. 30 seconds of the 2 minutes have concluded here at Selhurst Park. Seems that Oliver Glasner's pretty poor record in the last couple of months might continue. His last win in the Premier League, 7th of December, 25th now. Rob Sanchez takes his time, and rightfully so. Ball forward, Pedro Neto unable to bring that under control. Chelsea need to just get into half-time at 1-0. As much as I was disappointed with that 90 minutes performance against Brentford at home, this one has been more encouraging. It's not dominant, but there are signs that I'm seeing that Chelsea are capable. Yes, our goal came in fortuitous manner, but there was nothing fortuitous once the ball came at Estevan Willian at the halfway line. Could have very easily made it 2 as well. Joao Pedro's made things stick, and surely that's a foul on Joao, man. How are you not giving that as a foul, ref? Come on. It's a sore one for Joao. Want to protect our centre forward. Maxence Lacroix comes across. Daniel Munoz just has a nibble at the Brazilian. Santos with yet another interception, wins the first and the second header. Brilliant from him. That's a foul, ref. Come on. Enzo Fernandez this time. That's a yellow card too, man, at the back. He has no intentions of playing the ball there, Jefferson Lerma. The two number 8s clash. Final attack for the first half for sure. Is the referee going to blow the whistle? I think he has. First half action concludes here at Selhurst Park. Chelsea taking the lead courtesy of Estevan Willian. The ball gifted to him at the halfway line, having done so well from there, showing great composure to make it 1-0. Jean-Philippe Mateta, the best opportunity for Crystal Palace in the first half after that Benoit Badia Shield mistake, which led to Mateta being 1v1, but Rob Sanchez keeping it at 0-0. Chances for both teams. A few of them, Ismail Assar at the far stick had an opportunity which was brilliantly done from Marc Cucurella in terms of throwing him off. Enzo Fernandez had a shot which went over the crossbar. Chelsea need to trouble Dean Henderson a lot more in the second 45. There are options on the bench. One of the main causes for concerns for me in the second half is Moises Caicedo. He's got a yellow card, not with this performance. Performance has been absolutely fine, but he picked up the yellow card for the challenge, rightfully so. He made a challenge, I think, on Ismail Assar as well, and that's his final warning. Liam Rosenior has two options to... Liam Rosenior has two problems. Let me get this right. Liam Rosenior has two ways to solve the Moises Caicedo problem. Either he brings Reece James into midfield and subs Caicedo off for Josh Acheampong, or he drops Enzo Fernandez in midfield in the pivot alongside Andres Santos. Estevao comes in as the number 10 for us, and then a switch on the flank here with either Gittins or Garnacho, with possibly Pedro Neto moving to the right-hand side. So there are options. I want to see how long Liam Rosenior waits. Does he wait for 5 or 10 minutes into the second half to see how the game's panning out? I don't expect Caicedo to come off at half-time, but at some point, Liam Rosenior, I hope, has that in the back of his mind here. 1-0, good performance, good result, and an opportunity for us to go into the top 4 as it stands above Liverpool. Well, Aston Villa, they're leading against Newcastle, so they create further gap for Chelsea between 4th and 3rd. Unai Emery doing a fantastic job. He lost Daniel Malin which is a very surprising move. I mean, again, Marlon is a different type of striker for them, but instead they're bringing in former Chelsea man, Tammy Abraham, of course, another Cobham boy. He's been, I would say, quite the journeyman since leaving Chelsea. He went to Roma, then went to Turkey. I think he's still in Turkey now, making the move back to the Premier League. Of course, he was formerly of Aston Villa colours when they were in the Championship. He was the top scorer for us. Then moved, I mean, Chelsea had him on the books, used him as the centre forward under Frank Lampard, scored 15 Premier League goals, which is absolutely brilliant for your first season. 15 non-penalty Premier League goals for a Cobham boy. I think then Chelsea made that fatal mistake of going for Romelu Lukaku for nearly £100 million and having to sell Tammy Abraham for somewhere near 34 or 40 million pounds to Roma, which was then managed by Jose Mourinho. So a couple of interesting tidbits here heading into the second half. Interesting to see how Chelsea go about the business. Defensively solid. Reece James has had a so-so first half, but he's kept Brendan Johnson in his pocket. Johnson has been fairly ineffective on that left-hand side. Ismail Assar, more capable of causing us problems. Well, I'll be back very shortly for the start of the second half. Give my throat a bit of a rest. Today I had a big game in my quote-unquote day job. I had the Reliance Foundation Development League qualifiers, which was a derby match between East Bengal and Mohan Bagan Super Giants. East Bengal Football Club winning 2-0. They were down to 10 men in the second half and scoring on the break to make it 2-0 against their fiercest rival to go level on points. Just a little tidbit thrown in there before. I'll be back for the second half. Premier League weekend continues with Arsenal hosting Manchester United later on. I feel like I'm already losing my voice, but I will be live for that as well. Half an hour after the Chelsea game concludes. If you can win that game, you can just sit and enjoy the Arsenal-Manchester United clash. A lot of history between the two teams in completely different phases now. Arsenal have overtaken Manchester United. On and off the pitch, they are operating like a very serious club now as Mikel Arteta is looking to finally break his trophy drought. Well, Jean-Philippe Mateta has been the danger man for Crystal Palace. He had that great opportunity early in that first half. He had to do better, but I think he just snatched that effort. But it was on target. It was destined for the back of the net. Can't really fault him for having a pop from there. It was that Sanchez save that really did help us keep it at 0-0. Oops. Get my setup right. Palace fans will be hoping that they can get one over their London foes. Chelsea fans who have made that short trip to Selhurst Park. Fans will be hoping that they can get one over their London foes. Chelsea fans who have made that short trip to Selhurst Park. Fans will be hoping that they can get one over their London foes. Chelsea fans who have made that short trip. And the players are back underway. Estevao, no surprises that he takes the field for the start of the second half. Keeping an eye on Moises Caicedo, I see him as well. So Liam Rossinier, not erring on the side of caution, keeps Moy on the pitch. Of course, the game is still in the balance. If Chelsea can get that second, I think Liam Rossinier should immediately hook Moises Caicedo. It's a tactical plan, but he'll be happy with the first half here. Liam Rossinier, much improved after that nightmarish game against Brentford, which somehow ended 2-0 for us. Could it be 3 clean sheets on the bounce? Of course, a 2-0 victory against Brentford, that 1-0 victory against Parfos in the Champions League, which means Chelsea are 8th now in the Champions League and have an opportunity to leapfrog Liverpool and head into the top 4 if they can close out the second half here. Massive 45 minutes coming at Selhurst Park. Estevao Williams' goal separating the two teams. Great composure, balance and the finishing ability from the teenage Brazilian sensation. Could have very easily made it 2-0 as he once again had that run from the halfway line, but that time he went with his right foot that just flashed wide. Mateta has looked good. Off and running for the start of the second half. Crystal Palace get things going here. Chelsea looking for 3 clean sheets on the bounce under Liam Rossinier as we're starting to get a bit more defensive solidity. Much needed from us. We conceded 3 goals at home to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup first leg semi-final. At the bridge as well. 2 poor mistakes by Sanchez on the night. But since then he really has atoned for his errors. Reece James looks to feed João Pedro, who's really battling Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix does very well defensively. Well, 9 points between us and Aston Villa. That cushion for Villa as they strengthen their stronghold. Here's Estevao Willian in a central position. Finds Moises Caicedo. Chelsea looking on the attack early in the second half. Cucurella's ball in towards the far stick. Estevao's header's on target. It's cleared away. Caicedo should win the loose ball. Good start here from Chelsea in the second half. Reece James finds Estevao. Back to Reece in the half space. Cross comes into the box. Brilliant delivery. It's an excellent clearance. Should be a corner. It's Daniel Munoz at the far stick who defends that area very well. Reece James in that half space, very dangerous. One touch to get it out of his feet. And then just whip that ball into the box. Fullback to fullback. Cucurella attacking the back stick. It's a corner for Chelsea. Good start early into the second half. Can Chelsea get the second goal early into the second half? That would really change the complexion. Reece James's corners so far haven't been good. He keeps aiming for the near post. This time again, punched away. Henderson cleared away. Estevao Willian puts his header back into the danger area. It's headed away by Crystal Palace centre half. Andre Santos wins the header. Oh, that's a strong challenge there by Jean-Philippe Mateta. And Palace on the counter-attack, immediately snuffed. Very composed there by Trevor Chalobah. Nicely done. Chalobah put under pressure, very brave, but he loses out the duel. Adam Wharton finds Jefferson Lerma, shifts the ball onto the left-hand side to Tyreek Mitchell. His first touch is heavy. Caicedo, please be careful. Every time Caicedo goes lunging in, I will have my heart in my mouth, that's for sure. Chelsea cannot afford to go down to 10 here. Absolutely no way in hell. Chris Richards is playing as the left-sided centre-back at times. JD Canvo on the right. It's Richards. American. He's got a solid throw on him as he looks to just have that flat trajectory on the ball. Good ball in. Chelsea should be able to clear. Once again, it's Andre Santos. Gotten a lot of interceptions in this match. Once again, perfect positioning at that near post. Dean Henderson would have been happy to see that Estevao's second effort flash wide. Cleared away by Reece James. That might be a foul. Referee might just let play continue. Henderson with that quick release to JD Canvo. Here's the Frenchman. Finds his countryman in Maxence Lacroix. Richards. Chelsea looking to apply the forward press. Not allowing Crystal Palace to build out the back and forcing them to go long. Henderson not the best ball playing goalkeeper, but finds his centre half in Chris Richards. Again, long ball forward. Battle between Chalobah and Mateta, which Mateta wins. Strong play by the Frenchman. Chalobah does very well. And he plays a beautiful pass between the lines to Joao Pedro. Estevao Willian, clever clip pass there. It's got the fade. Joao Pedro's in the box, looks for options. Joao Pedro chops. Joao Pedro! 2-0 to Chelsea. Estevao turns provider. And Joao Pedro with his 8th Premier League goal gives Chelsea the cushion. Great finish. Once again, composure from the Brazilians has given us a 2-0 lead. Well, that all comes from Trevor Chalobah winning the duel against Jean-Philippe Mateta. Joao Pedro with a clever turn finds Estevao Willian. Estevao is so good. Look at this pass. It's weighted to perfection. Oh my word, is he offside? Estevao was offside. I really hope Joao Pedro was. I'm sure JD Canvo was playing Joao Pedro onside here. Joao Pedro chops. Leaves Adam Wharton on his left foot. Fires that between the legs of Henderson. Quality second goal that. 2 high quality finishes. Brilliant from Joao Pedro. Our top scorer with yet another important Premier League goal scored away against Tottenham Hotspur in that 1-0 victory. Now scores to make it 2-0. Scored that absolute cracker against Brentford. When Chelsea was struggling, we needed a goal. He slapped one in on his left foot. This time again with his trusted left. As Joao Pedro pulls out his trademark celebration. 5 minutes into the second half. 2-0 to the Blues. Let's go. Monish, come on. Okay, Liam Rosigne. It's all about game management now. Does he be brave and take off Moises Caicedo? Chalobah so far has had the measure of Jean-Philippe Mateta. Sanchez will want to keep this 10th clean sheet. Reece James fires that pass. Enzo Fernandez with the fade with the pass. Brilliant pass there to Estevao Willian. Keeps that nicely up against Chris Richards. Estevao's got a goal and assist. Richards strong in the challenge. Estevao is not going to get the decision. Adam Wharton drops the shoulder brilliantly away from Moises Caicedo. Here's Wharton now. Palace looking for an immediate response since going 2-0 down. Well, that goal would be a killer blow for Oliver Glasner. Estevao Willian, goal and assist. What a game he's had. Throw in for Crystal Palace. I think Richards will be coming across. Munoz is capable of firing them in as well, but it will be the American. Again, flat trajectory expected here. It goes for the looping throw in instead. Chelsea win the first header and Cucurella wins the second. Danger still alive though. Squeezes the pass. Andre Santos does very well. Not sure as to what's the matter here, but the referee is calling for someone off the bench. Might be a head injury. Trevor Chalobah putting his head where it hurts. Yep, just a clash of heads. Maxence Lacroix having every right to attack the header. Chalobah does well though. For Chelsea as it stands, in fourth after Liverpool drop points, all three rather, to Bournemouth. Adley scoring pretty much at the last kick of the game. As Liverpool were 2-0 down, did very well to pull 2 goals back. Virgil van Dijk and Dominic Szoboszlai with the free kick. But then that goal-mouth scramble right at the end gave Andoni Iraiola's men a valuable 3 points. Brighton Parish in the Crystal Palace board, watching along with solemn faces. Drop ball for Crystal Palace here as they look to put this ball into the danger area. Still a set-piece situation here for Crystal Palace here. Should be giving the ball back to us, but they don't. They keep it short though. Wharton looking to fling this one in on his left foot. Decent ball in. Very good defensive header. Corner for Crystal Palace. Is that Joao Pedro again? I wouldn't be surprised. He has been everywhere for us. More importantly, got us that cushioned second goal. Into the 10th minute of the second half. Brennan Johnson, the winter acquisition from Tottenham Hotspur, 40 million quid spent on the Welshman. Didn't have the best of first half. Ball into the box, whipped in. Brilliant from Rob Sanchez. His cross claiming is just at the most elitist of levels. Again, went for that quick release of the counter-attack, but clever there from Crystal Palace, as Chelsea can't really afford a injury to Rob Sanchez because Philip Jorgensen is injured. Let's have a look here. Is it cynical? Rob Sanchez plays on the edge, man. He went for the quick release. His foot is right on the line. Could have released it right here, right now. Decides to take a few extra steps forward. Oof, he is right on the line. And Jefferson Lerma clatters into him. Is that a yellow card for Lerma? Probably will get away with it. And thankfully, Sanchez is back on his feet with a bit of chalk on the side of his head. 10 minutes into the second half. Chelsea 2-0 up. The Brazilians getting it done for us. Estevao in the first half and Joao Pedro in the second. Good touch there by the Colombian, Daniel Munoz. Good work there by Marc Cucurella. Stays touch tight and wins a throw in for Chelsea. Rob Sanchez looking to keep yet another clean sheet. Will take his tally to 10 as it stands, level with Manchester City. And I want to say Donnarumma was part of all 10 clean sheets, or was James Trafford part of 1, 2 early on? Don't think it was. All Donnarummas maybe. Here's Caicedo. Joao Pedro does very well. Shifts it to Pedro Neto down the left-hand side. Neto carries. That's a poor pass. Oh, it's a pretty good pass actually because Estevao is there. Enzo Fernandez shifts it to Reece James. Bombing around down the right-hand side is Winter James. Esteval! What a curling effort! And Cucurella on the follow-up. It's on target, but balloons easily into the hands of Dean Henderson. Esteval Williams just looking to curl that in with the whip. Chaloba's done very well against Mateta. Paddy Shield shows composure. Reece James, seeing him on the right flank. Oh, that's a poor pass there by Moises Caicedo. Very good save there by Dean Henderson. Shifted pass. That was angling into the corner, man. Great strike by Esteval again. He's had 3 pops at goal. That's the 1 goal for the Brazilian so far, but he's got his eye in here. Nadia Shield steps in. João Pedro making the ball stick once again. Won't get the handball. Here's Jefferson Lerma. Palace looking for a route back into this contest. They'll be looking for the next goal here, because if Chelsea score the next, feels that the 3 points will be wrapped up. Here's Lacroix. Munoz, decent touch into the channel, but it's a throw in for Chelsea. Liam Rossinier can look at his bench here in the final half an hour. Get a couple of substitutes as Crystal Palace chase a goal back. This might be a game for Alejandro Garnacho on the break for Chelsea. Here's Reece James now on the right-hand side. Finds Esteval Willian. That right-hand side is absolutely cooking for us. Reece down the right-hand side. Brilliant ball in. Chance. João Pedro. It's a save. Might be a handball. The referee looks right at it. I think his arm was close to his body, so they might survive here. Paddy Shield wins the ball back. Here's Moises Caicedo. Clip pass to Enzo Fernandez. Just overhits that Moises Caicedo. They're going to have a look whether or not it was a handball. Reece James once again causing problems. Beautiful ball in. Almost felt like it would be. It hit JD Canvo's arm, but his arm was close to his body. That's not a pen. Once again, good positioning from João Pedro. Esteval wins the header. Jefferson Lerma finds Tyreek Mitchell. Into the 60th minute here. Chelsea looking for the third. Esteval and Enzo. One that still to be checked. I think the check was complete. Here's Adam Wharton. Although check's going to go on here. Chelsea might get a lifeline. This would be an incredibly harsh pen. The check is going to happen, and when the referee has been sent to the monitor, it could be real trouble for Crystal Palace. I don't think that's a pen. This would be incredibly harsh on JD Canvo. Referee sent to the monitor. The Crystal Palace fans and players will have their hearts in their mouth here. They're going to check the handball. Good combination from Reece and Esteval Willian. Decent whip. See, it's on target. Oh, that could be a handball, because that is stopping a clear goal scoring opportunity. It's on target, but where's his arm supposed to go? I would be really surprised, man. It would be very harsh. It's stopping a clear... I mean, it's a grey area, if you know what I mean. I would love this to be a pen for Chelsea to go 3-0 up, but it would be very, very harsh on Crystal Palace. Where's his arm supposed to go? Can he put it behind his back? I mean, you never want to see defenders defending with their arms behind their back, but if a pen's given for this, you kind of understand as to why they do it. This would be very harsh. Common sense should prevail. His arm is close to his body. It does strike his arm, no doubt about it. But where's his hand supposed to go, man? See, it looks even worse when you keep slowing it down. See it clearly striking the arm having a bit of whiplash. The more they look at this, the more I feel that they just might give the pen here. This is not pleasant viewing. Again, I saw this in the game yesterday against Manchester City and Wolves, right? Why is the referee getting 10, 15, 20 views at it? I mean, you just need a couple of them. There's so much time being wasted. It's almost rendering the referee useless. I mean, how many looks do you need to have here? He's got the side-on look. He's got the view from the goal. I mean, what more do you want? The decision now? The Crystal Palace players and fans will have their collective hearts in their mouth here. Let's have a listen. Wow, that is absolutely incredible. It's an accidental handball that has resulted in a yellow card and a penalty for Chelsea. And with under half an hour remaining, Chelsea can kill this game off here. Oliver Glasner will feel really hard done by that decision. But it seems that they've gone and almost implemented to the letter of the law. But we've seen Enzo Fernandez on penalty duties for Chelsea. In the absence of Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez looking for his 7th Premier League goal to give Chelsea what would be an unassailable lead heading into the final half an hour in this match. It's cruel on Canvo, but it's an opportunity from the spot, from 12 yards out, for Enzo Fernandez to give us a 3-0 lead. Enzo Fernandez has scored some clutch goals. That last-minute goal against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium to give us a point when all seemed lost, now has an opportunity to pretty much kill this game here. Enzo Fernandez scoring 4 out of his last 5 pens up against Dean Henderson. It's Enzo Fernandez, deep breath, up against Henderson, looking to size up the goalkeeper to give Chelsea an unassailable 3-0 lead here. All the checks complete. Enzo Fernandez up against the keeper. Enzo Fernandez rifles it into the bottom corner. Dean Henderson motionless, and it's 3-0 to the Blues. What a pen that was from Enzo Fernandez. Dean Henderson does not read that whatsoever. He tries to stand his ground. Enzo Fernandez converting 5 out of his last 6 pens, giving Chelsea a 3-0 lead. Well, Chelsea are not just getting the 3 points, they are improving the goal difference. Enzo Fernandez wants more noise. That is a quality pen, man. It's right into the corner. Even if Dean Henderson dives the right way, he is not stopping that. Side foot finish. Beautiful pen. 3-0 to the Blues. It's a harsh pen, but as I mentioned before, Joao Pedro, he's got an effort on target. It's a goal, but it's incredibly harsh. Well, it's been the South American show for Chelsea. Estevao Williams, Joao Pedro, the 2 Brazilians giving us the cushion. And then, of course, the Argentine vice captain, Enzo Fernandez, from the spot, nerveless to give it 3-0 as Sosa's coming on for Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner now looking to rotate the pack here. 25 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Crystal Palace's terrible record in the Premier League will continue here. Sanchez, from Chelsea's point of view, it's all about keeping the clean sheet now. Decent header. Joao Pedro plays a 1-2 in magnificent fashion on the left-hand side. Pedro Neto in the central position. Cucurella. Chelsea keeping the ball. No real need to really go gung-ho now. Would be nice to see a few subs from Liam Rossignol, keep things fresh. Possibly give some time off to the likes of Moises Caicedo, maybe even Estevao Willian. You want to manage his minutes, not get carried away with midweek games also coming in. Games coming thick and fast. Estevao needs to start a lot more games for us. So it's imperative that Liam Rossignol shuffles the pack around here. Gittins and Garnacho will be looking to come on and make an impact. They've had a tough time since joining the club. Gittins more so. Oh, that's a yellow card tackle there by Adam Wharton for sure. Number 20 on the number 25. Cynical challenge by Adam Wharton. Ooh, I'm starting to get very hungry. Need to grab quick dinner before I get ready for the next stream, that is Arsenal versus Manchester United. United still ahead of Chelsea, and if they can somehow get magically the 3 points against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal are absolutely imperious, even though they're not flashy about it, they are very effective. Still no subs for Liam Rosenior. Not seeing any warm-up either. Sosa has come on for Crystal Palace. Aston Villa still 1-0 against Newcastle United at St James's Park. Igor Thiago scoring for Brentford too. He's been on quite the streak. He has replaced the likes of Ivan Toney rather, and Brian Mbeumo. Keith Richards' side soaring up the table. Nobody expected them to be as high as they are. Reece James with a nice pass to Andre Santos. Santos has had a quiet game. I say that with the deepest of respects because he has put out so many fires. He's kept things very tidy, very polished display from the young Brazilian. Enzo Fernandez goes battling in. Reece James on the slide. It's a double substitution that Oliver Glasner made. Jeremy Pino has also come on, the Spaniard, number 10. Will play on that left-hand side. Brennan Johnson, completely ineffective against the Blues. Expecting Ismail Assar to be on the right-hand side, but I don't know whether or not both attackers have been replaced. Be very surprised if Ismail Assar is not on the pitch. Oh, Johnson's on the right-hand side. I think Sarr, more than anything else, is pretty much tiredness, maybe because he just came back from AFCON duty. Oliver Glasner would probably said, I'm giving you 60 minutes today, as Cucurella plays the ball onto the left-hand side. Pedro Neto has the pace. First time ball in, easily dealt with by Lacroix. Play out the back here, Jefferson Lerma. Decent pass. Benoit Badiashile attacks. He's taken a sore one there on the abdomen. Chelsea's defence have held firm in the second half. Jean-Philippe Mateta has had very little in terms of chances. Badiashile's shoulder, or maybe from home. Quite the away day for Liam Rosenior's men. Reece James with the throw-in. And is this a game where Rosenior maybe looks to be a bit more protective of the likes of Reece James, now enjoying his most successful time at the club in terms of minutes on the pitch regularly? I mean, again, Chelsea take a lot of flack for a lot of things, but we have managed him very well. Really hope that Cole Palmer rather, is being managed in a similar vein, and some players that have to come back from long-term injuries are the likes of Dario Esugo, Romeo Lavia, and of course Levi Colville next season. In a long punt forward, Andre Santos, he's really sensed the danger very well. He knows that there's a possibility that Mateta will win the flick on, so he makes the run. Just protect the centre half. Really nice. Cucurella. Clip pass to Pedro Neto down the left-hand side. 20 minutes remaining in this match. Neto, João Pedro tries that clever clip touch. But this is a game where maybe even someone, again, that I give criticism to is Liam Delap. Can come on, give a few minutes off to João Pedro, try and increase his tally, get his second Premier League goal. And Liam Rosenior should be making changes here. 20 minutes. I can see some movement on the subs bench. Here's Moises Caicedo. Shifted onto the left-hand side. Back to Rob Sanchez. Chelsea's now main objective is to keep the clean sheet. Surely a foul. Adam Warden has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Late challenge on Andre Santos. Substitution. Very good to see this from Liam Rosenior. I see Jamie Gittins and Malo Gusto coming on. Not know who the third is. It might have looked like Mark Guiu. Be interesting if Mark Guiu gets the nod over Liam Delap. Enzo Fernandez, his pass is intercepted. Jeremy Pino, brilliant bit of skill there. Reece James comes across, does very well. Oh, that's Adam Wharton, who's on a yellow card. He might pick up a straight red here. Well, Chelsea in a position of strength now. Well, apologies for the stream just dying in. But Adam Wharton picking very poor from him. He went lunging in. Caicedo was very clever. Just flicked that touch over. As Palace have pretty much run out of steam. Wesley Fofana. He's the third player that's coming on. Pedro Neto's off for Malo Gusto. Well, Steve Parish has had enough. Jamie Gittins now getting some minutes alongside the two Frenchmen in Wesley Fofana and Malo Gusto. Esteval Willian coming off here. Brilliant performance from Esteval Willian. Man of the match. Goal and an assist for the young Brazilian. He gets to put his feet up. Very good work there by Liam Rosinha, giving the young Brazilian and managing his minutes. From Esteval Willian. I want to see who the three players off are. Esteval was one. Pedro Neto was the other. The final 15 minutes remaining. Reece James now into midfield. I think Caicedo's off too. Yep. Reece James now in midfield, which means Wesley Fofana will be the right back. Oh, Reece, what a terrible pass. Chance here for Crystal Palace, and it's just wide. Chelsea nearly handing Crystal Palace a goal. Brennan Johnson receives the Reece James gift, but he can't find the back of the net. Reece far too casual. Does well to close out the angle. Leaves the pass short there. Very poor there from Reece. Puts Andre Santos into a lot of trouble. Munoz and Johnson are off, as Will Hughes and Riyadh coming on for Crystal Palace. 15 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. A bit more defensive solidity required with Riyadh. Now on the pitch here as Crystal Palace now have a corner. Jeremy Pino delivers. Decent flick on. Foul. Play continues. Whip pass towards the far stick. Far too much there by Jeremy Pino. Chelsea survive. They're going to have a look whether or not this one has come off Chalobah's arm. It hit his thigh first, so that's not going to be a handball. Plus, it wasn't really in a threatening position or heading towards goal. Chelsea now looking for the clean sheet. Only thing remaining now. And maybe João Pedro should be coming off too. Maybe in the final 10 minutes, Liam Delap will get 10 minutes plus stoppage time. Or Mark Guiu as well. Here's Wes Fofana. Finds Trev Chalobah. Andre Santos. Looks like he'll be getting 90 minutes today. And Santos's involvement is so crucial. Reece James. Lovely turn there by João Pedro. Good defending there by Ismail Assar of all people, who's helping out defensively. Reece does well. Tries to chest that down. Now on the right hand side for us, it is going to be Malo Gusto rather than Esteval Willian. Jamie Gittins on the left hand side will have the opportunity to try and impress here. Maybe get amongst the goals with Chelsea, looking for further improvement to the goal difference. As it stands, Chelsea in 4th, Palace remain in 15th and can further slip down the table if results go against them. Chelsea looking very comfortable now. Chelsea keeping possession. This is going to be very frustrating for Crystal Palace, down to 10 after Adam Wharton needlessly lunged in after already being on a yellow card. Referee feeling that he had no option but to give the second yellow because of the nature of the challenge on Moises Caicedo. Jamie Gittins breaks through the challenge of Sosa, keeps his balance, shifts and moves. Gittins is a very good dribbler in tight spaces. Here's Andre Santos, finds Enzo Fernandez, who's converted that pen to make it 3-0 to Chelsea. Riyad, clever pass. Andre Santos, brilliant. Again, his positioning is absolutely elite. Malo Gusto, fresh legs for Chelsea down the right hand side with Malo and of course Jamie Gittins. Here's Rees. And this will be very, very frustrating for Palace. Can't get a touch of the ball. Reece James to Enzo Fernandez. Marc Cucurella holding the width down that left hand side. Reece again now in midfield now that Moises Caicedo is off. Malo Gusto, decent touch, not a foul given. Ismail Assar closed down. Jefferson Lerma rather. I keep forgetting that Ismail Assar is off the pitch. Into the 80th minute here. Chelsea coasting here in East London. It was a very tricky game for us. Chelsea with just 1 win in 5. Palace none in 5. Palace could have thought that they could have maybe turned things around with a victory here against their London foes. Gittins has looked bright since coming on. Not the accurate pass that we were looking for. Here's Jean-Philippe Mateta. Andre Santos brilliant. Will Hughes pinches that first. Reece James is strong in the tackle but unfairly according to the referee. Shoulder to shoulder there from Reece by the looks of it. Reece is an absolute tank in that midfield area once he decides to use his body and go in at full clip. Well, Jarell Hato is coming on as well in the final 10 minutes. I'm surprised it's not a double substitution by Liam Rossinier. That was the pen that was given. Very harsh on JD Canvo, but the ref following the letter of the law. Accidental handball because the ball was destined for the back of the net. I understand it, but it's harsh. The JD Canvo, unfortunately, not having the impact on the pitch. Now replacing the skipper that departed. And speaking of skippers that departing the field, Reece James has come off for Jarell Hato. Good to see that Liam Rossinier is managing the minutes. Reece James with job done. 3-0 scoreline. It's a free kick for Crystal Palace as Jeremy Pino floats this into the box. They win the first header, but Rob Sanchez with a comfortable gather. Looking for the quick release, but Chelsea don't really go gung-ho here. 9 minutes plus stoppage time remain at Selhurst Park. Chelsea 3-0 to the good. Estevao Williams, Joao Pedro and Enzo Fernandez all on the score sheet. It's been the South American samba at Crystal Palace here. Adam Wharton, of course, picking up that second yellow card with that lunging challenge on Moises Caicedo, which means that Palace in the last 20 minutes or so having to play with 10 men. Jarell Hato, who scored the first goal under Liam Rossinier's stewardship, was against Charlton in the FA Cup third round. It was a cracking finish. There was some way to start off the Liam Rossinier era. What a pass that is from Sanchez. It's got the curl on it. Wesley Fofana wins the header. Joao Pedro does very well with that header. Brilliant stuff. Jamie Gittins protecting the ball. Good feed by the Englishman, but Palace win the ball back. Here's Jeremy Pino. Surprised that he didn't start. And Palace needing to manage the minutes with European commitments. Here's Chris Richards to Will Hughes, who was slotted into that midfield role. In the absence of Adam Wharton. Sosa. Riyad replacing JD Canvo. And Chelsea still pressing high up the pitch, not allowing Crystal Palace time or space to build out the back as Henderson forced to go long. Good header there by Jean-Philippe Mateta. I think that's Trevor Chalobah. Nope, this time it was Benoit Badiashile who was touch tied to his fellow countrymen. Defenses look good. Looked very good. The likes of Ismail Assar, Jean-Philippe Mateta, Brennan Johnson, now Yeremy Pino on the pitch, Adam Wharton in midfield. A lot of weapons that Crystal Palace could have used against the Chelsea backline. Of course, Tyreek Mitchell and Daniel Munoz as the two wing-backs. Chelsea keeping, as it stands, 3 clean sheets on the bounce here. 2 in the Prem, 1 in the Champions League. Liam Rossignol will be delighted. This is a good response. That game against Brentford was just somehow win and forget. This one, we will take a lot of positives from it. Gittins, Santos. Oh, what a good header that was from Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro's anticipation to win headers is just first class. He times his jump so well. Lovely turn there by Will Hughes. Put under pressure. That's a harsh foul there, but Jarell Hato inverting from one of the full-back positions into midfield, and Liam Delap will get some time. Yep, the correct substitutions all being made. Estevao getting time off, Reece James, Moises Caicedo protected. Joao Pedro, after getting the job done, gets to put his feet up for the final 6 minutes per stoppage time as Liam Delap looks for his second Premier League goal, and Chelsea's top scorer with 8 finally takes his leave here. Look at Liam Rossignol looking at Joao Pedro in just awe. Well, Ucha is going to come on for Jean-Philippe Mateta and Liam Delap for Joao Pedro. Both strikers being changed by their respective coaches. Yeremy Pino looks to go for goal. Very poor free kicks from Yeremy Pino since he's come on. Well, Glasnow's winless streak will continue. 7th of December is a long time, especially with the busy winter period, to go without a win. 5 minutes per stoppage time remain at Selhurst Park. Chelsea 3-0 to the good. Coasting now. I'm just going to enjoy the next 5 minutes, man. First half was literally edge of the seat stuff. That Estevao goal really did calm the nerves. Now that Chelsea have the man advantage and are 3-0 up, I can take the foot off the pedal. Sanchez not happy with his distribution, but he'll be very happy to get his 10th clean sheet in 23 games. He hasn't started all of them. Of course, Philip Jorgensen started against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Clip ball into the channel. Good defending by Benoit Badiashile, who's been very solid in the second half. Ball breaks kindly. Yeremy Pino. Look at Gittins helping out defensively. That's what you want to see. Here's Sosa. Fizzes the ball in. Well defended by Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah has been fantastic today. Against the side that had him on loan for 6 months. When Enzo Maresca was first appointed, he was sent out on loan. Maresca deciding that he needed a centre-back. Brought Chalobah back from his loan spell, and since then he's been a constant fixture. In the absence of Levi Colville, another Cobham boy. Cobham stays the ever-present. Richards with a throw-in. Decent flick-on header. Liam Delap helps out defensively. Lacroix with a brilliant first touch. Hammers that at Sanchez. Sanchez not going to be beaten at this near post. Corner for Crystal Palace. Liam Delap does well to get his header on this, but not enough distance. Malo Gusto pulls out of the challenge, and rightfully so, because he's in the box and he's behind the attacker. Decent strike there by the Frenchman. Corner for Crystal Palace to try and pull a consolation goal at this moment. Something for their fans to cheer about here. 3 minutes per stoppage time remain at Selhurst Park. 45 minutes away from kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. Team news would have filtered in by now as Will Hughes whips the ball in. It's a chance. It's saved. Oh my word, it's surely a goal. Crystal Palace do have a goal back. It's Chris Richards. It's no clean sheet for Chelsea. Rob Sanchez absolutely fuming, and rightfully so. He throws himself in harm's way. Kept the ball somehow out as Chris Richards hammers that from close range. Let's have a look. Sanchez has every right to be fuming here. That's a brilliant save. Chelsea go to sleep. Yep, that's a legitimate goal. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving in the box. Is the first effort Well, Sanchez again, if he's kept that out from Ismail Assar's header, it's absolutely ridiculous. But number 20, I think that is Trevor Chalobah, who's gone to sleep there. No enough time to react. Has that come off? Riyad Zam will wait and see. But the header from Richards, nothing wrong with that. Let's have a look whether or not it might have caught the arm of Riyad. Brilliant from Sanchez, man. I think the goal might be given. Sanchez will be fuming. Absolutely livid, Monish. He has every right to be. I think the goal's been given. Well, no clean sheet for Liam Rosinia in back-to-back Premier League games. It'll be the only sour note in what was otherwise an excellent game. Palace down to 10, scoring a goal. Melee in the box. Chelsea need to try and score one more to re-establish their 3-goal advantage. Palace looking for a grandstand finish, and if they do manage to somehow score in the next couple of minutes, it really would be a grandstand finish. Again, Chelsea need to show a bit more ruthlessness going forward. Palace have been down to 10 for about 20 minutes. And disappointing to concede the goal. Crystal Palace getting something to cheer about. Jefferson Lerma and Enzo Fernandez, in the most choicest of Spanish words, having a go at each other. Did the wise thing of covering their mouths. Is a yellow card for Jefferson Lerma. The 30 seconds of normal time remain. Disappointed that there's no clean sheet here. Clean sheet is a contagious habit. Chelsea will have to go again in terms of trying to rack up the clean sheets, and it's 9 clean sheets for Rob Sanchez in third position behind Gianluigi Donnarumma and of course David Raya. A lot of time being wasted here. Free kick for Crystal Palace. Into stoppage time as Sosa feeds the ball into the box. Chelsea win the first and the second ball. Will Hughes puts that back into the danger area. Decent header. Might be offside. No flag. Lerma wins the header. Santos also has picked up a yellow card for I don't know what. Liam Delap trying to win the challenge. It's a really scrappy bit of play here. First and second balls being contested. Fofana this time wins the header. It's 9 minutes of stoppage time that has been signalled by the fourth officials. Surely a foul there on Andre Santos. Jefferson Lerma, who picked up a yellow card, has to be careful. Once again, brilliant performance. Away from home, Andre Santos is quietly building the CV at Chelsea. He does give us the balance, especially away from home, allowing Moises Caicedo a partner in that midfield area. Santos goes to Sanchez. Fuming, absolutely fuming. He did so well with that save against Jean-Philippe Mateta in the first half. And Chelsea having been 3-0 up a man, he has every right to be livid with the defending. Here's Riyad. Will Hughes. Hughes has been very nice. Nice plug-and-play midfielder. He keeps things simple. He's got a great understanding of the game. Replaced Adam Wharton seamlessly in the middle of the park. Here's Hughes. Channel pass. Chalobah, who's read everything, gets the ball away from Ucha. Fofana does well. They win a couple of the headers. Wesley Fofana contests with Yeremy Pino. Jump, Liam. You've got to put yourself about. Flicked header. Badiashile comes across, clears the danger. A lot of headers to be won here. Crystal Palace playing Route 1 stuff. Chelsea looking to be a bit more composed there as Malo Gusto just hammers that away. Come on, Liam, make it stick. Here's Richards. 7 minutes of stoppage time remaining. The result no longer in jeopardy. And I say that and I really hope that Chelsea don't do anything foolish in the last 7 minutes of stoppage time. Cucurella has had a very good game up against Ismail Assar. Channel pass for Liam Delap to chase. He's got fresh legs. He's up against Maxence Lacroix. Enzo Fernandez in the 90th minute, still making the run in the box, and that's cleared away. Ucha up against Badiashile. Badiashile does very well. Santos with yet another defensive header. Enzo Fernandez had a much better second half. Here's Jarell Hato. Chelsea playing in tight spaces, keeping the ball, frustrating Crystal Palace. With 6 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Both teams looking very interesting in the next game. Manchester United and Arsenal. A few interesting moves by Mikel Arteta and Michael Carrick, two former midfielders for their respective clubs. Piero Hincapié has come into left back for Arteta. Midfield three of Ødegaard, Zubimendi and of course Declan Rice, and a front three, no Victor Gyökeres. It's Gabriel Jesus, Leandro Trossard and Bukayo Saka as the front three for Arsenal. Manchester United with San Lomens in goal. Back four of Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and Diogo Dalot. Midfield pairing of Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro. Front three of, once again, it's Šeško's on the bench. So the big money signings for both clubs, Šeško and Gyökeres, both on the subs bench. Bryan Mbeumo playing as the false nine. I think Cunha's on the bench too. Diallo and Patrick Dogu as the two wingers for Michael Carrick today. Interesting. Ball into the box, cleared away. Chalobah and Jarell Hato get the ball out of danger. There's Enzo Fernandez. He's lost out that duel. He's not going to get the foul. Will Hughes looks for the switch. Instead, he's found Yeremy Pino. Ismail Assar onto the right-hand side. Looks to just punch that ball into the danger area. Easy grab there for Sanchez. There's Malo Gusto. He's given us a bit of security down the right-hand side. Better touch there by Liam Delap. Well, Delap had that unbelievable cameo against Manchester City up against Abdulkadir Kusanov at the Etihad Stadium. Need him to have a few more cameos such as that. Gusto. He's been wriggled away easily by Yeremy Pino, but Wesley Fofana helps out defensively. Andres Santos, once again in the perfect position. Gusto off balance, just hooks that away. Jimmy Gittins looking to battle away, and Riyadh with the header. Fofana, front foot defending. Again, a lot of headers in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Jarell Hato, that's a clever pass. It's found Enzo Fernandez. He doesn't have the pace, but he's got the drive. It's Enzo Fernandez, takes a touch away. Keeps the attack going here. Enzo waiting for a free kick. He's not going to get it. Ismail Assar and the combination of him and Will Hughes get the ball away here. Clever pass between the lines down the right-hand side. Again, Enzo Fernandez in the 97th minute is still running to try and make those forward runs as the last attacker forward. Expecting Liam Delap to be in those kind of positions where he's got the fresh legs and a bit of pace about him. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time, as about half an hour away from the start of the big game on Super Sunday. Arsenal hosting Manchester United. Went through the team news very shortly, if I remember correctly. It's Raya, Timbers, Saliba, Gabriel and Piero Hincapié as the left back. Ødegaard, Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi as the midfield three. And the front three of Leandro Trossard, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus. No Victor Gyökeres in the starting 11. 2 minutes of stoppage time remain. Chelsea looking to prevent another goal here. Crystal Palace very much on the up, trying to finish the game in a positive note here. And as for Manchester United, Son Lamens in goal. Back four of Luke Shaw, Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez. Midfield pairing of Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro, with the front three of Patrick Dogu, Bryan Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo to complete the front four. No Šeško and no Matheus Cunha. 2 out of the 3 summer acquisitions. 4 summer acquisitions if you're counting Son Lamens. On the bench for Michael Carrick. As talk about tough fixtures to start off your interim away, at home to Manchester City and then away to league leaders Arsenal. Chelsea is in 4th as it stands, getting a couple of points cushion away from Liverpool. Final minute of stoppage time here. Here's Yeremy Pino. Pino's ball in, headed away by Wesley Fofana. He's had a very good cameo. Decent touch away. Chelsea looking to clear their lines. Palace looking to finish with a flourish here as Jefferson Lerma waits for the cross. Instead is found Maxence Lacroix, faces it across the face of goal. Well defended by Wesley Fofana. He celebrates that like he scored a goal. And now Liam Delap looks to turn the attacker and turn defense into attack. But Will Hughes has been spot on since coming on. Decent pass, cleared away. Here's Sosa down the left-hand side. Palace are finishing this game very strong here. Chelsea have taken their foot off the gas. Decent ball in! And the header's on target. Ismail Assar is not happy. He feels that he's been pushed there. But that was straight at Rob Sanchez. Chelsea in the last 5 or 6 minutes just falling asleep at the wheel. Andres Santos, who's had a magnificent game. Enzo Fernandez with good bit of dribbling. He's been shoved to the ground. Jefferson Lerma has to be careful because he's on a yellow card. Last thing that Crystal Palace will want was another player being red carded. Yes, the full-time whistle blows at Selhurst Park. Chelsea with a commanding result which takes us into the top 4. Couple of points cushion away from Liverpool. Estevao Williams started the scoring with that brilliant goal after a bit of fortune in the way that it fell to him at the halfway line. But he had to do so much to finish that off, which he did in sensational fashion. It was 1-0 at half-time. João Pedro 5 minutes into the second half with an excellent goal after Estevao turned provider. And then Enzo Fernandez from the spot with an excellent pen to make it 3-0. Adam Wharton picked up a second yellow card to give him a red card, making it very difficult for the last 20 minutes for Crystal Palace, who did very well to keep their spirits going right till the end and getting a consolation goal courtesy of Chris Richards, as no clean sheet for Chelsea. Moni says, why do we struggle against 10 men? We forget our structure. And he also says it's a good win though. Keep the blue flag flying high. Absolutely, my friend. 3-0 victory. Perfect. 3-1 victory regardless. Perfect. Into the top 4. Trying to close the gap to Aston Villa, who are 2-0 up against Newcastle at St. James's Park. This is a brilliant result for Unai Emery's men, who continue to try and keep the pressure at the top. 3 goals, 3 points. I cannot complain, and it's full time at St. James's Park too. Unai Emery's men getting the job done. Emiliano Buendia getting the plaudits from his teammates, possibly scoring the second goal there. Wins for Villa, wins for Chelsea, and now about half an hour away from the main event. Super Sunday continues with Arsenal hosting Manchester United next. I'll be back live at 10 p.m. rather, India time. So do tune in, man. I once again really do, from the bottom of my heart, whoever's tuned in live or checked out the stream at some point, I really do thank you, man. I'll see you guys for the next game. It's full time at Selhurst Park. Chelsea with all 3 points in the top 4.